Good afternoon, anti-novelists and friends. Here we are back in the library here at the Cattle Ranch. I am starting that project that we've been talking about now for 2 years running, which is finishing my novel. So some of you may recall when I started writing my book, Zettelkasten for fiction writers, I set this novel aside because it was in the middle of a developmental edit. Now it's time to get it done. And I'm going to bring you along with me because I'm going to turn the system that I use with my Zettelkasten into a course to teach y'all how to wrangle your stuff. Because let me tell you, this has gone off the rails. So I have this 3-inch binder, which has the finished draft in it that is about 60% through a developmental edit. In order to finish that, I need to go back to the beginning and pull all of the stuff that I used to write this sucker so that I know where I'm headed. I literally found 2 characters today that I don't even remember writing. So yeah, I got to do some organization first. So here in this 4-inch binder, I have the original first draft of the novel. So it went from 4 inches to 3 inches in the first round of edits, and now I'm working on the last round of edits. So what do we have on the stand-up desk? Well, I've cleaned out my accordion file, which I absolutely love this. It's a nice way to sort cards and sort information. So that's going to live over here. I've got my little portable file thing standing up. This is just the bones of the course that I'm getting ready to create as I go through this process. I've got a story sketch that I used as a teaching tool. This is so embarrassing. I have this traveler's journal, which I've literally just been collecting information about my novel in for literally the last year and a half. So this is just a big old sandwich of stuff, ideas, thoughts, notes, what have you. Yeah, that is going to suck to go through. Then over here, I've got my mini deck. Some of you may recall I like to take 3x5 cards and cut them in half. And then I can color code my characters, which helps me just make notes, keep track of easy things. I can slip these in here. I can slip them into my plot box. It's just a nice, mobile, easy way to keep track of notes and ideas. I've got my original plot box. Many of you have seen this before over in my plotting playlist. This is just all of my plot points, which I'll need to be going through those. Then, oh boy, there's this. These are note cards that belong in my Zettelkasten, but when I set this sucker aside, rather than filing these, I rubber banded them together like a total rookie, but cut me some slack. It was 2 years ago. I am so much deeper into the Zettelkasten now. I know better than this, but these will still have to be dealt with. I've started the bones of my time box. No spoilers there. I'm not going to talk about that. I've got my drawer. Okay, so this is my index. You know that I keep my Zettelkasten index in an 8.5 by 11 Happy Planner binder, alphabetized, rather than doing it in index cards. I like a big binder so that I can see lots of entries at a glance on a page. More on that over in my playlist on Zettelkasten Q&A. This is the drawer of my Zettelkasten that the novel lives kind of in, because obviously there's a lot of crap that I need to deal with, get everything filed in here, back in order, and then I can start working with it. But do you think this is all the chaos? Oh no, my friend. Let's go over here. So there's my book, the book that derailed the novel. I'm so proud of this 3-pound doorstop. I can't even say enough about it. However, it did boot the novel out of my focus, and so it's time to get back to that. So over here, I have 2 notebooks. This one is what I consider a discovery notebook. It just helps me line out major concept ideas that I want to put in the novel somewhere. And this one is more of a detailed look at different characters. You can see the character color codes across the top. This is where I started tracking my developmental edit. You can see right there, this was for tracking the continuity and the threads through the story. I tried to do this in a notebook. Again, guys, total rookie move. This does not work. Yes, you can use a journal to collect your thoughts, collect your ideas, but then that shit has got to go in your Zettelkasten, and I'm going to teach you how. Don't do as I did, because wading through all of this is going to suck. But on the other side of it, we're going to come out with a finished book. In here, this, as you can see on the spine, is my timelines binder. It's a 3-inch or 2-inch 3-ring binder. And it has all of my original timelines, both my hand-drawn ones. Okay, so this is on big butcher paper where I would open it all out. Let me see if I can find you a view. I would open it all out and I would literally just sit with my notes. Goodness, I can't do this with one hand. Just trust me when I say, yeah, here we go. Like, see how that's got a timeline that goes from left to right? And then like all of the story markers are kind of loosely color-coded along that timeline. This was how I began laying out my story back when I didn't know any better. And so in order to wrangle all of this into something that A, I can use to teach you how to do better, and B, I can use to finish this beast, I have to go through all of this. So this was my first attempt at a digital tracker, kind of. It basically is the architecture of the plot. This is actually helpful, so I will keep an iteration of this, and I'll walk you through later what that looks like. And then in here, I just have what started out as my first timeline tracker. It begins with the year 1075 AD and goes forward from there. Again, I mean, these are just typed out drafts of stuff, like notes, that I couldn't even tell you what's in here. This is why we need to use a Zettelkasten. I know this stuff is important. I know it has serious relevance to what I am about to start editing and writing, but I don't know what's in here. It's not indexed. There's no way for me to find my ideas. I just have to go back through it and read all this stuff. Again, don't do what I did. Over here is my big packet of master outlines. Again, these are helpful to a certain extent, so I will keep a simplified iteration of this that will complement what we're going to do in the Zettelkasten time box. And then over here, I have my 4-person at-a-glance planner. This will stay as well. This tool is indispensable, and I'm going to walk you through how to build it and how to use it in order to figure out where your story is, where your characters are at any given time. So this will stay in a simpler form. What do we have here? Hello, miss. Look, it's the library supervisor. It's the princess herself in the flesh, on duty, supervising. Very, very hard today. Just supervising her little kitty heart out. And then over here, I have cleaned off my side table. As you can see, I've got my plot box folders that mirror each of the plot points in the plot box, ready to rock and roll there. I've got my blank surface, which I'm going to put those binders with the drafts over here. And then these are just some random mind maps and kind of sketches that take me through each of the 4 acts of my story. So that's all the things, guys. That's all the stuff that we're going to use to wrangle this book into shape. My goal is to have the course ready for you guys by the end of April, probably a little sooner. I don't know. I'm not making any promises because I'm on a tight deadline, but that's my hope, is I will get through this organization process and have a finished course to show you how to do all this, while at the same time tubing the whole way. So even if you don't want to jump into the course, you still get the highlights of how to go about doing all this. So I am going to leave you there for today, because I have got my work cut out for me. Right now, I need to go through this stuff first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to start with these because I pretty much know what's in here. It's just in no kind of order. So I'm going to start dealing these cards out and sorting them and getting them over here into the Zettelkasten drawer where they belong. And of course, I will be indexing the whole way because that is the key. So wish me luck. Hopefully the next time I see you, this chaos will be at least a little bit wrangled, and I will have another report for you on progress. So, as always, thank you guys. I couldn't do this without you. I really love knowing that you're out there toiling in the trench alongside me. It gives me hope. Take care. I will see you next time.